Laura Fryer is not holding back. The former executive producer for Gears of War blasted Avowed, Obsidian Entertainment, and art director Matt Hansen, questioning why would you say this? Why indeed? She also blamed him for putting the game and the company at massive risk by trying to take on Elon Musk. Roll this up over at fandompulse.com. You can find the link in the description below. I encourage you to head on over there, become a paid subscriber, help support us in fighting back against woke ideology that is infecting the video game industry and is trying to destroy our society and culture at large. We are fighting against this and have been doing so for over a decade, been on the front lines from the very beginning. So Fryer commented on Hansen's actions in a recent video upload titled "The Games Industry Elephant." In the video, she first recaps what happened regarding Avowed, and Hansen first, she noted that it was discovered the game features pronouns. Obviously, I think this was Force Gaming. We kind of were one of the first people to point this out. And we can see here in the screenshot that he shared while he was going over one of the menus, you can see the game does include the pronouns. You can see the he, him right there underneath Envoy. That was then picked up by Mark Kern, a.k.a. Grums, who then shared this tweet basically saying he's drawing a line, rejecting any game that has pronouns in it. And you grammar Nazis know what I mean. Stop being stupid. He's actually responding to our coverage, my coverage specifically, of the pronouns in the game. And then Elon Musk responded to that saying having pronouns in a fantasy video game is utterly unacceptable. Hansen then responded to over on Blue Sky. He responded with this post saying, JPEG, I wanted so badly to make him mad with my game, and I cannot believe it actually happened. Just wait until you see the default. You said little crap. And so this is what Fryer said in reaction to this. Let's just take a listen to what she had to say here.
I personally find this situation baffling. Does he know Elon personally? Why does he want to make Elon mad with his game? Why would you say this to someone who is easily one of the most controversial people on the planet, and therefore has millions of people reading his posts? This interaction may be the one impression that people will ever have of the game Avowed. To be clear, I'm fine if Elon ends up not buying it. That's his choice. What I'm not fine with is a leader putting his team and game at risk. And this is where social media comes in. At any point, you can read something, get offended, and with one emotional outburst online, you can change your game's momentum. You can ruin years of a team's work. Of course, Avowed is likely going to be review bombed. There are plenty of people that are more than happy to join in the fight. Avowed is now mired in controversy, and when they launch, they will have to overcome this situation. And that's the tragedy, because it sounds like it might be a great game, and it's heartbreaking to think that it may never get a chance. I feel sorry for the team that's working on the game, because having all of this going on while you're trying to final a game, it's not fun.
So that is what she had to say there. I actually think she is absolutely 100% right questioning Hansen's actions. At the end of the day, though, he only put oil on the fire, given he and Obsidian had already included pronouns in the game, a clear sign that the game will be pushing woke ideology. Again, the only reason why he made those comments in the first place is because we discovered that it would have pronouns, and we're already starting to raise a ruckus. All he really did, again, was put more gasoline on the fire for this game and basically created a massive controversy, an even more bigger controversy than what it had already been. Instead of it being on the pronouns, it made it on him, his attack on Elon Musk, and him basically doubling down that the game would be even woker than what we kind of had already seen, right? Because he said, just wait. What is this threat right here? He says, just wait until you see the default, indicating that there is even more woke ideology in this game than just the pronouns. Which is pronouns obviously already massive red flag and usually indicate you're going to get more of that. Case in point, just look at Dragon Age, the Veilguard, right? Nevertheless, she is right that the game now faces a much higher hill to climb than it likely would have. The game currently has just 53,374 followers on Steam, just a month and a half out from release. It is only 31st on Steam's wish list and just 1360 on the top sellers list. You can kind of see that right here on this screenshot. You see right there, 1360, 31st on the wish list, and 53,374. Took that screenshot earlier today. For comparison, Dragon Age: The Veilguard had 61,164 followers on September 16th, about a month and a half from its release date. The game also pushed woke ideology and managed an all-time peak concurrent player count of just 89,418. It was also revealed to be in the lower half of Steam's top 100 sellers of 2024 and was in the 68th position in Europe's best-selling games of 2024. Games industry head Christopher Dring revealed that. He said Dragon Age: The Veilguard, which came out at the end of October, that was number 19 in the best-selling new game chart, but was number 68 overall. In fact, though, he noted that Black Myth Wukong and Palworld were not included in that list because their digital sales data had not been provided. It's unclear if there were other games that were not included on that either. So clearly, Dragon Age: The Veilguard is likely even further down that list, given the fact that Black Myth Wukong and Palworld were obviously in the top part of Steam's top 100 sellers list. I think both of them were in the top 12. I think Black Myth Wukong is probably number one, but they randomize all of that stuff on Steam, so we don't really know where any of these games are, just in the buckets that they're in. So we know that Dragon Age: The Veilguard is in the 51 through 100 bucket, the bronze tier. We just don't know where in that bronze tier it is. Obviously, I think we can make some guesstimates given the fact that it was number 70 in the European charts, probably somewhere around the same point. What is really interesting, I covered this in a previous video, is that Monster Hunter Wilds, which doesn't even come out till February, was in that same bucket. So that game's pre-orders might actually have been higher than all of Dragon Age's sales. And again, obviously it's grouped by revenue, so Monster Hunter Wilds might have made more revenue than Dragon Age: The Veilguard even after the game was released. Monster Hunter Wilds hasn't even come out yet. That's just wild to think about. And interestingly, Avowed is coming out in February as well, and we'll have to go head-to-head with Monster Hunter Wilds. I think that is going to be an easy choice for a lot of gamers, given the fact that this game has the pronouns, is clearly pushing the woke ideology, and you've got the art director here basically torching his game, setting it on fire. I do want to point out the one thing that I do find interesting with Fryer is she does note that he's basically put a lot of his own employees in a bad position, and I do think that is likely the case, but at the same time, it's just not him, right? Sure, he's the art director, but there are also other leaders at this company that not only chose to hire him, they chose to promote him, they chose to make him the art director, and they've approved of many of his decisions. Clearly, they did indeed approve of the pronouns being in the game, and they approved of whatever default he was promising. So I do think a lot of blame does lie on leadership above Matt Hansen as well. I do think you can put blame on other people in that company. And then obviously we know that this is, I think it's Xbox, right? I think it's a Microsoft-owned company, if memory serves. And we know that they're all about pushing this agenda. They just released their whole, they had a whole framework that they were using internally. They just released it for external partners and external developers to use as well. And it's all about how do you incorporate woke ideology into video games. So again, this starts from the top. This stuff is all being worked down from these massive corporations. And it all kind of goes back to what Larry Fink said in 2017, where he's trying to force behaviors, and that is what they are doing. So I do think we need to not just kind of zero in on Avowed, but there are a lot of steps that get to this point where you have someone like Matt Hansen making these absolutely insane comments, picking a fight with Elon Musk, picking a fight with the people they are trying to sell. And I think at the end of the day, it comes down to radical activists that are trying to force this agenda and are using the financial system to try and make that happen, and using the video game industry to propagate their evil ideology. But let me know what you guys make of what Laura Fryer had to say here. I do like that we are seeing more and more industry veterans kind of speaking out against this nonsense, against this insanity, and showing just how stupid and dumb it truly is. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable and to always speak the truth.